that person is. I looked at the elder on the throne and asked Chen Luoi beside me. This elder gave me a strange feeling, as if he could control everything just by sitting there. He is a wisp of the great Emperor Yu Angsu's soul. This space was casually created by him. The great Emperor Yu Angsu is very benevolent. He deeply understands the dangers of the upper realm. Therefore, those from the lower realm wanting to go to the upper realm must be tested by this wisp of his residual soul to see if they are qualified to go. Hearing Chen Luoi finish speaking, I looked at the elder on the throne and nodded slightly. So it seems the great Emperor Yu Angsu is really quite remarkable. Then I walked towards the great Emperor Yu Angsu on the throne. Cultivation at the third peak of the dragon transformation realm. But I can feel that inside you, there are many strange powers. Using these powers, you can defy the heavens and reach the half-step mighty realm. A hint of approval flashed in the eyes of the wisp of the great Emperor Yu Angsu's soul. I wonder what your test will be. I didn't waste time with the great Emperor Yu Angsu, directly asking about the test to enter the upper realm. Your appearance makes this residual soul of mine feel the vigor of my youth. I was as strong as you back then. The great Emperor Yu Angsu slowly stood up. An overwhelming spiritual pressure bore down on me. Your test is to withstand the duration of one incense stick in my hands. If you succeed, not only will I send you to the upper realm, I will also give you something extra. How about it, kid? Under the overwhelming spiritual pressure, the 8 ancestral symbols within me appeared, forming a shield in front of me. Seeing this, Chen Luoi was shocked. One must know, although the great emperor is benevolent, he is absolutely not this idle, usually sending people up. The test is merely a checkpoint he sets. Why is Lin Yi facing the great Emperor Yu Angsu directly? I did not refuse the great Emperor Yu Angsu's proposal. At this moment, my spiritual power also erupted to powerful spiritual pressures, shaking the entire space to its core. It's been a long time since I've seen such a young person like you. You really resemble me back then. The wisp of the great Emperor Yu Angsu's soul smiled. Then a wisp of golden light appeared in his palm, transforming directly into a 3-foot green peak sword. This sword is named Dangmo. It once accompanied me in slaying countless demons, the supreme weapon against the heroes and outer realm demons. But this is merely a spiritual manifestation, not even a millionth of Dangmo's true power. But it still allows you to glimpse its former glory. The supreme weapon Dangmo in the hands of the great Emperor Yu Angsu emitted an astonishing pressure. Just this alone made me feel an indescribable oppression. If this supreme weapon were at its full power here, I'm afraid the entire lower realm would be turned to nothingness under its pressure. Lin Yi, be careful. Ancient texts record that although the great Emperor Yu Angsu masters the art of war, his specialty is forming arrays effortlessly. Various arrays are very tricky. Chen Luoi reminded me from afar. Master of arrays. I kept this information in mind, then quickly formed seals with my hands without hesitation. In the next second, the entire space trembled. A giant finger, 100 feet thick, descended from the sky, pressing down fiercely towards the great Emperor Yu Angsu. Great desolate for heaven finger. The great Emperor Yu Angsu looked up at this scene with a hint of approval on his face. Such a martial skill is really impressive, although the grade is a bit low. But at your age, I didn't have it either. As he spoke, the Damo sword in his hand danced. A torrent of killing energy rushed towards the desolate giant finger, slicing it continuously. The terrifying slashes cut back and forth on the finger. The giant finger, 100 feet thick, dissipated before it could land. The space trembled as the great Emperor Yu Angsu raised his hand. A formation stabilized this space. It's really aged and dilapidated. But now I have used a formation to stabilize this space. Even a battle at the saint level couldn't break this space. To prevent myself from losing control later. Kid, let's change the place to fight. As the great Emperor Yu Angsu's voice fell, the next second, I felt the space change rapidly. When I opened my eyes again, I was already in a vast and boundless space. This space seemed to be free from the constraints of time and space. Only endless darkness and stars intertwined. A faint blue light flowed on my black robe, as if resonating with the starry sky. This is the manifestation of my spiritual power. Looking at the great Emperor Yu Angsu at this moment, he was no longer in the form of an elder. He transformed into a majestic figure, wearing a black imperial robe. In this formation space, my wisp of residual soul will also be strengthened slightly. This makes my appearance closer to my form before death. As he spoke, the Dangmo sword in his hand thrust forward fiercely. Seeing this, I summoned the Tianlin ancient halberd and met the attack. The Dangmo sword sliced through the air. Its sharp sword energy seemed to tear the space apart. I was not willing to be outdone. The Tianlin ancient halberd clashed with it. Instantly, a deafening roar erupted. The entire space seemed to tremble, although the great Emperor Yu Angsu was just a wisp of soul. In this formation space, his strength had already been greatly enhanced, forcing me to retreat. I quickly stabilized myself, a fierce glint in my eyes, swung the Tianlin ancient halberd at the great Emperor Yu Angsu again. This time, my momentum was even more formidable, as if I could split the entire space. Good boy, your dragon transformation realm cultivation is barely noticeable. With such power, you could even fight a half-step mighty. During the battle, he deliberately suppressed his cultivation to the fourth peak of the dragon transformation realm, but still couldn't withstand my offensive. So the great Emperor Yu Angsu directly raised his cultivation to the half-step mighty realm. But even so, I was still at ease. Recently, I had just slain a half-step mighty with a supreme bone. I did not hide anything and said it outright. A half-step mighty with a supreme bone. How interesting. Hearing this, the great Emperor Yu Angsu felt even more anticipation. Then he raised his hand and cast a formation. The formation instantly enveloped this space. In just a moment, I noticed my cultivation rapidly declining. After a while, my cultivation fell directly from the third peak of the dragon transformation realm to the third stage of the four extremes realm. This is a formation I created during my saint cultivation. It can continuously weaken the opponent's power during a fight. There is still half an incense stick's time left. Kid, you must hold on. The great Emperor Yu Angsu smiled and swung the Dangmo sword again. Seeing the Dangmo sword thrust out again, I knew that with my current cultivation, I couldn't resist it. So I directly summoned all the ancestral symbols. The devouring ancestral symbol emitted a terrifying devouring force, madly plundering power from the surrounding space. That power continuously replenished my body. Then I raised my hand and controlled the thunder ancestral symbol, shouted at the great Emperor Yu Angsu. Judgment of thunder. The thunder ancestral symbol burst forth at this moment. A blinding lightning bolt tore through the space, rushing towards the sword thrust by the great Emperor Yu Angsu. A terrifying energy explosion occurred. Space cracks appeared one after another. You have so many of these treasures. Seeing the power of the ancestral symbols, the great Emperor Yu Angsu couldn't help but praise. These are just minor things compared to your Dangmo sword. As I spoke, my hands didn't stop moving. The thunder ancestral symbol continued to emit blinding white lightning. Finally, the space formation couldn't hold on and shattered. At this moment, my cultivation rapidly increased. When my cultivation returned to its original state, due to the battle with the great Emperor Yu Angsu, the template compatibility also increased. My cultivation directly reached the fourth peak of the dragon transformation realm. Above this realm is the half-step mighty realm, raising my cultivation during the battle. Your talent is truly astonishing, kid. The great Emperor Yu Angsu felt his formation break, and couldn't help but praise again. Nothing compared to the great Emperor. I looked at the time and said, "Time's up. This trial is over." Please, Great Emperor, dissolve this space. The wisp of the Great Emperor Yuangsu's soul did not refuse. In the next second, the world turned upside down. I returned to the Grand Hall where I had been, and the Great Emperor Yuangsu was sitting on the high throne, just as he had at the beginning. Kid, you are quite impressive. The Great Emperor Yuangsu nodded in satisfaction, then raised his hand, and an energy was injected into my body. This is a strike from the Dangmo sword. It can unleash 1/10,000th of Dangmo's power. But remember, you can only use it 3 times. Within these 3 uses, you can resist a saint but cannot slay a saint. After saying this, the Great Emperor Yuangsu didn't wait for me to speak, raised his hand and sent Chen, Luoi, and me out of the space. And the Great Emperor Yuangsu fell into slumber, waiting for the next person aiming to reach the upper realm. Before long, at the edge of the cliff outside, accompanied by a deafening thunderclap, Chen Luoi and I appeared. You actually got 3 attacks from the Great Emperor Yuangsu. Really lucky, Chen Luoi said enviously after appearing. I didn't discuss this topic much, turned to Chen Luoi and asked, what is the configuration of the mysterious immortal sect in the upper realm? The mysterious immortal sect in the upper realm has 1 million disciples. Among them, the real powerhouses are 2 guardians. Their cultivation is at the peak of the half-step mighty realm. Besides these 2 guardians, there are 3 peak masters. Their cultivation is at the half-step king realm of the mighty realm. Above the 3 peak masters are the 5 kings. They are all at the peak of the king realm. And the vice sect master of the mysterious immortal sect is at the peak of the saint realm. Chen Lui's voice stopped abruptly. What about the sect master of the mysterious immortal sect? Seeing this, I frowned and asked. Chen Lui shook his head. It is said that the sect master of the mysterious immortal sect has been missing for 100,000 years. No one knows where he went. If the sect master were here, the mysterious immortal sect would not have fallen to this rank. It would definitely be even higher. After hearing Chen Lui's words, I nodded slightly. Although the sect master of the mysterious immortal sect has been missing for 100,000 years, I still need to be cautious. After all, no one can say for sure that when I seek revenge, this sect master who has been missing for 100,000 years won't reappear. What was his cultivation level when he disappeared 100,000 years ago? I asked Chen Luoi with curiosity. The sect master of the mysterious immortal sect is named Luo Qingshan. When he disappeared 100,000 years ago, his cultivation had already reached the 5th level of the immortal platform, the realm of a saint king. He was a saint king 100,000 years ago. Hearing this, I was stunned. How could someone so powerful suddenly disappear? I muttered to myself, that I don't know. It is said that Luo Qingshan finally went alone to the Abyss of Infinity. The Abyss of Infinity is a forbidden land in the upper realm. Countless prodigies of various generations have perished there, turning into evil spirits, and many outer realm demons have formed and developed there. Therefore, after Luo Qingshan's disappearance, most people believe she also died in the Abyss of Infinity. I nodded and didn't continue to ask. I looked around, not knowing where this was. So I said to Chen Luoi, my main goal now is the 9-colored divine mud of the Bushan sect. You said that secret realm opens once every 500 years. The time is almost here. Take me near that secret realm first. Chen Luoi did not refuse. She looked around and said, this should be the territory of a small sect in the upper realm. Our disturbance just now must have attracted their attention. They are probably heading here now. We should leave quickly. Then the 2 of us immediately leapt into the void and left. Meanwhile, in the mysterious immortal sect of the upper realm, in the grand hall of the sect, a handsome man sitting on the side seat suddenly opened his eyes. That kid from the lower realm actually arrived in the upper realm so quickly. Since he is here, let the left and right guardians go and slay him first. Destruction of the mysterious immortal sect in the lower realm. is simply a disgrace to the prestige of our upper realm mysterious immortal sect. After the handsome man finished speaking, a rugged-looking man sitting opposite him cursed and said, "Qinqianming of the lower realm mysterious immortal sect also obtained the supreme bone, becoming unbeatable in the same realm as a half-step mighty, yet he was slain by a kid in the dragon transformation realm. These two are both among the 5 masters of the upper realm mysterious immortal sect. In the absence of the vice sect master, their words carry the most weight. While you were saying these words, I already sent the left and right guardians." The woman in blue standing at the hall's entrance said to the two, then turned and left the hall. On the other side, after Chen Luoi and I left the cliff, we directly arrived in a small town. "Where is the secret realm you mentioned?" Walking on the street, I casually asked Chen Luoi. Chen Luoi replied, "The secret realm is in Zhangzhou. The area we are in now is Qingzhou, which is several regions away from Zhangzhou. Unless we have a teleportation device, otherwise it will take half a month to get there. But it's fine. By the time we get there, the secret realm will open in about 3 days. Where is the teleportation device?" I didn't listen to any extra words, only heard the quick way to get there. Don't think about it. Teleportation devices are only possessed by families or sects with deep foundations. Hearing this, I frowned and pondered. Just then, 2 voices came from behind. "Are you Lin Yi from the lower realm? It can't be wrong. The aura of our enemy, the mysterious immortal sect, is very strong. Slay him." I turned around, following the voices, saw 2 men in black and white robes, standing on a distant rooftop. Just from their auras, I could tell both of them had power, not inferior to my own half-step mighty peak. They are the left and right black guardians of the mysterious immortal sect. Chen Luoi said, looking at the 2 standing far away. 2 half-step mighty peaks. Chen Luoi turned and smiled. "Do you need me to help? If you can't handle it, I can help you deal with one. Of course, I won't kill them. I don't want to get involved in their markings. I will personally slay every member of the mysterious immortal sect one by one. Just watch from the side." I glanced at Chen Luoi. Then a flash of golden light appeared in my palm. The Tianlin ancient halberd appeared in my hand. The left and right guardians of the mysterious immortal sect in the distance unleashed their spiritual power rapidly upon seeing this. As the terrifying spiritual power unfolded, the entire town turned to ashes in an instant. Countless beings didn't even have a chance to escape. This is truly the way of the mysterious immortal sect. Since the sect master Luo Qingshan disappeared, the mysterious immortal sect has gradually turned to the dark path. Chen Luoi raised her hand, using spiritual power to protect herself. The spiritual power waves from the opponents hit Chen Luoi's shield, causing only slight ripples. "You should stand farther away." After saying this to Chen Luoi, I looked around at the ruins. The once bustling town was no more. "Kill!" Seeing Chen Luoi stand far away, I swung the Tianlin ancient halberd in my hand. A terrifying golden ribbon slashed towards the black and white guardians. Great desolate slash. The right black guardian summoned a scythe from within, then slashed out a 100-foot wide crescent slash towards me. The 100-foot wide crescent slashed directly, devoured my golden ribbon. With irresistible pressure, it came crashing down on me. I looked at the incoming crescent slash without any panic, raised my hand and formed seals. The thick clouds behind me instantly parted. A 100-foot thick finger tore through the space. In the next second, as the finger collided with the crescent slash, desolate aura and sharp slashes intertwined. The forces between them kept colliding and canceling out. As the collision continued, the desolate aura on the finger gradually eroded the power of the crescent slash. Ultimately, the crescent slash was completely shattered by the finger, turning into countless fragments and dissipating in the air. Yet the gigantic finger after shattering the crescent slash, did not stop. It continued to advance straight towards the enemy who issued the slash. The right Black Guardian, witnessing all this, had a look of horror in his eyes. Wasn't this kid supposed to be just in the dragon transformation realm? How did he suddenly reach the half-step immortal platform realm? If one finger shows my uneven power, then the second finger will shatter mountains and rivers. As my voice fell, the second finger rapidly appeared above the void, its power like a landslide, filled with endless destructive force. Quick, use defensive martial arts. The left guardian shouted anxiously at the right guardian. It's too late. His attack is too fast. Use space to block it. Facing the several hundred-foot thick finger before them, the faces of the black and white guardians changed drastically. The desolate aura was right in their faces. With an explosive sound, deep cracks appeared as if they were about to tear the whole ground apart. The noise gradually subsided. In the distant several hundred-foot deep pit, black and white guardians slowly flew out. At this moment, the two were no longer as spirited as when they appeared. Their bodies battered, chests heaving. At the moment when the great desolate imprisoning heaven finger's second finger exploded, the three of them used all their strength to initiate space transfer, forcibly redirecting 1/3 of my attack. But even so, the black and white guardians are now severely injured. This guy is so fierce. The right black guardian clutched his chest and said, with these words, he felt a sweetness in his throat. A mouthful of blood mixed with internal organs spurted from his mouth. Surviving this is not easy. So what will you do about the third finger? Watching the black and white guardians climb out from the several hundred-foot deep pit, I didn't pause. Immediately unleashed the third finger of the great desolate for heaven fingers. 3 fingers of annihilation.